everyone, it's Adriana here for Couture Creations, and today I'm going to show you or talk to you about the cut foil and emboss dies. These dies were designed to go through your GoPress foil machine to actually foil onto cardstock or any other types of materials, as a GoPress foil machine can be used on many different surfaces, but also you can also use the cut foil and emboss dies as a normal die. And I'm going to show you how to do that. But first of all, I'll just talk to you about the packaging. Our packaging now is quite light and also very easy to read. You can see that it's got Couture Creations, and also down the bottom you always have a sticker of exactly what the actual embellished die would look like once it's been used. On the back it also has the sandwich or the combination of all your plate sandwiches to be used for foiling with your GoPress foil machine, and also with just your normal die cutting machine, the sandwich or the combination of your plates and materials and cardstock, and also the plates for using these dies with your normal die cutting machine. Because these ones that cut, foil and emboss, you do not have to foil them. You can actually use them like a normal die through your die cutting machine. Yes, that's right, through your die cutting machine. So here I have the word hello, and this has been foiled with gold heat activated gold hologram foil onto blue cardstock. And as you can see, that's beautifully cut and foiled, and if you really put your finger on it, it actually has embossed as well. But then you can use other surfaces or other materials. This one here, I've just used a mirror board in the bronze, which we have 10 different colors of mirror board in A4 sizes, and you can see it actually has embossed and it's cut out at the same time. And then I've just used a pigment ink over the whole die, and I've just used that through my die cutting machine. So I've used a turquoise pigment card deco pigment ink over the die, place some white cardstock and run that through my die cutting machine. And I'm going to show you exactly the 3 steps that you need to use, and show you exactly how easy it is to use the die, these dies called the cut foil and emboss dies. My first way of using these cut foil and emboss dies is I'm going to use it with a piece of mirror board. It's one of our 10 different colours that are available from Couture Creations. Using my Go Cut and Emboss machine, I'm placing the A plate, C plate, placing the die facing up so the cutting edge is up, placing a bit of cardstock facing colour side facing down on the plate, and then my B plate on top. And I'm just going to run that through my die cutting machine, and this will actually cut and emboss at the same time. If you find that it's not embossing enough, you can actually put a paper shim on top, or also a metal shim, a thin metal shim that comes with the Go Cut and Emboss machine. And here you'll see that it's actually cut through and it's actually beautifully embossed at the same time. And I'll just take a piece of paper to show you exactly how beautiful that is. If you can see there, see the embossed rays, edges? That's with a mirror cardstock. It really looks lovely, and that's one way of using the Go Cut and Emboss dies without foiling. The next way you can use these cut foil and emboss dies is by inking them with a pigment ink. I'm using the Card Deco pigment turquoise colour and some white cardstock. So with the pigment ink, I'm just gently dab over the cut foil and emboss die, so you can see where all the raised image, that you get a good coverage of the actual pigment ink over the die. gently place that through my sandwich of your normal die cutting machine. I'm using the Go Cut Emboss machine. You can use a Cuttle Bug, you can use your Big Shot, whatever you use in a die cutting machine. Place this facing on top. Bit of cardstock. B-plate on top. Running that through. And you will see that it has cut all the way through and inked and embossed in one process. How about that? Doesn't that look fabulous? That's ready to be used on any projects. That's the best thing about the cut, foil and emboss dies. You don't have to foil. You can ink them with pigment inks. So now I'm going to show you exactly how to use any cut, foil and emboss dies with your GoPress foil machine. When using the GoPress foil machine, it is going to cut through your lid, but that's fine because these can be replaced. So I'm just placing a sentiment word of the wishes onto my metal conversion plate, which is placed on the platform of my GoPress foil machine. Placing a piece of foil, heat activated foil, colour side down, and placing my cardstock on top. I'm just going to give that a few moments for that just to heat through. Once that's ready to heat through, I'm going to take the platform of my GoPress foil machine and run that through my die cutting machine. You can use it in a Cuttle Bug, Big Shot, or even the Go Power and Emboss machine. So once that red light has turned green, that's ready for that to be processed through my die cutting machine. It might take a few small seconds because I've just opened that lid, and just the coolness and the temperature fluctuates every time you open the lid or move the platform from its base. So I'm just going to gently slide that out. Going to grab my Go Cut and Emboss die cutting machine and run that through very slowly through my machine. The best thing about the cut, foil and emboss dies, in one transaction or one process, it will foil and it will cut and it will emboss. And that's the fabulous part about these dies and the unique properties of these dies. And the thing is, you don't have to foil. You can do the other things, the other techniques that I showed in the previous videos. So here I have my word sentiment wishes, which has been cut. And I'll give that a bit of a wiggle, poke through those little bits there out with my fingers, and there you have a beautiful word sentiment wishes foiled onto white cardstock with some beautiful matte gold, vintage matte gold heat activated foil. So that's ready to create on a project, on a card. And that's the best thing about cut, foil and emboss dies, that you don't have to fuzzy cut that out. It's already done for you. So that's the third technique of using the cut, foil and emboss dies. This one is foiling, as it is intended with the GoPress foil machine. So that's the best thing about the cut, foil and emboss dies, that you don't have to foil them. You can use them as a normal die. Here is a new collection that's just been released. It's from the Sunburnt Country collection, available only in Australia. These cut, foil and emboss dies are exactly the same. You can foil. Here it comes in a two set. They've got a beautiful border and Australia word. This has been foiled, this has been embossed, and this has been pigment inked and sort of inked and processed through your die cutting machine. Again, foiled using pigment ink through your die cutting machine, and embossing with your die cutting machine. The beautiful kangaroo, again foiled with your GoPress foil machine, This has been used with inks, and this has been used with embossing with the mirror board. And the same with this Made in Australia little map of Australia. You've got that foiled, inked, or embossed. That's the best thing about the cut, foil and embossed dies. You do not have to foil them. You can just use them as a normal die. Here I have a montage of a couple of different ones here, and you can see this one here is the cut, foil and embossed beautiful, I think it was called the Modern Essential dies. This was one of the frames. I just foiled that with my GoPress foil machine. Here I've just used it with mirror board and just embossed it. So there's a beautiful texture on that. And this one here is just used with pigment ink. So this just gives you 3 different things that you could use with anything that is cut, foil and embossed. The beautiful reindeer, here we go. This has been inked with pigment ink, embossed with mirror board, and this has been foiled onto mirror board with red holographic heat activated foil. Again, the amazing sentiments, they all cut in one process. It is foiled, cut and embossed, or die cut and embossed with pigment ink. I hope that's clear with about the cut, foil and embossed dies, that you don't have to foil them. You can just use them as a normal die through your die cutting machine anytime to create a beautiful sentiment or border ready to use on any of your projects.